Hello guys, welcome to the Harvard Lab today. My name is Babatunde Arolo, and today we're going to be working on ordering decimals. Okay, so this question basically relates to comparing numbers given to us, and we're gonna be in this case we're gonna be ordering these numbers from least to greatest. Okay, so we're gonna be putting them in the form from the least number among these four numbers given to us to the greatest number. All right. And one thing I want to do when I'm working with all these kind of questions, okay, the how I identify each one of them is by starting from each digit. Okay. So I start from the beginning number first. Okay, I start from the number that comes first. Okay, so in this case, all numbers that come first, they all start with 9, right? Since they all start with 9, we can move to the number after the decimal point. Okay, so these are the decimal points. All right, so this point here is called the decimal point. All right, so we'll move to the decimal point, next number after the decimal point. All right, and we have to identify which one of them is the smallest one. Okay, so the smallest one basically tells us which one is the smallest, right? And based on that, since when we identify the smallest number, right? Okay, so this is whenever you identify the smallest number that comes in each time in every time you kind of move in the decimal points, the smallest number that comes then, okay, that's going to be the smallest number. Okay, so let's say we have 9.25 and we have 9.35. Okay, so in this case 9 and 9 here, they're equal, right? So we move to 0.2 now. So working with 0.2 here and working with 0.3 here. Okay, so we know 2 is smaller than 3, right? And because of that, we can automatically say 9.25 is smaller than 9.35. Okay, so that's what I mean. All right, so you're gonna be looping through each point. Okay, and as you loop through each one of them, you're gonna compare the digits that you're housing right now. Is, let's pretend this is a house. Okay, you're gonna pretend that each digit, you're gonna use those digits that you're housing to compare each other. Okay, so based on that, since all these ones in the front are on 9s, so we can just we can move over to the next housing, which is the number after the decimal point. Okay, so this is 0.0, working with 0.0 here, this is 0.3 here, this is 0.0 here. Okay, so now we're working with 9.3, we're working with 3, 0, 3, and also 0 here, right? And so we know 3 and 3 here, these two, right, they should be bigger than these two numbers. Okay, because this 3 here that comes immediately after decimal point and this 3 here, they're greater than 0 and 0 here. Okay, and because of that, since these 3 and these 3 are here, then automatically they are bigger than these two. Okay, so we have to work with these two to determine which one of them is smaller. Okay, so 9.06 and 9.006. Okay, so we moved here. Okay, this is 0 now, and this is 0. Okay, so since they're the same, we switch over again to the next one. Okay, so this is 6 here, and this is 0. Okay, so now we're housing 6 here and we're housing 0. And we know 6 is bigger than 0. Okay, and since 6 is bigger than 0, then automatically this one here should be bigger than this one. Okay, we already found out that every time we looped through, because we looped through this first one at first, these 9s were equal. So we looped again, these 0s were equal. And then we looped again, which gave us 6 and 0, two different numbers, right? And so we have to identify, okay, which one of them is bigger? And we identify that 6 here is bigger than 0 here. Okay, and since 6 is bigger than 0 here, so that means this one, 9.006, is the smallest number. Okay, so let's put that in, 9.006 here. And then the next smallest number will be 9.06. Okay, so now we're left with these two numbers. We're left with 9.3 and 9.3041. Okay, all right, so we loop through this first 9 and this 9, they are the same, right? And then we loop through this 3 also, and this 3, they're also the same, right? But I'm coming. This is 9.30, and then come on, sorry, 9.3. Let's put a 9.3 here so it doesn't. So it's a 9.3, so 9.3041, okay? And instead of, since we already bounced through all the digits this one can contain, this one contains 9.3, this one contains 9.3041, right? It's like, okay, so right now we're in this points, right? We're in this 9.3 points, right? And we realize that, okay, this 9.3 has more value. This 9.3041 has more values than this one. Okay, I want to compare these two together, these two numbers together. But the thing is that this one doesn't have enough number behind 3 for us to compare. Okay, and since it's like that, then you can automatically say, since there's no number behind the decimal point here, behind this 3 here, you can automatically put 0 behind it. Okay, so we can say 9.3000. Okay, in this case, there are 3 numbers behind it, right? So now we can compare 9.3000 and 9.3041. Okay, so now we can put a 0 instead of anything behind. Okay, since there's nothing behind it, automatically put in a 0 behind it. Okay, so this is a 000 here, and we're good for that. So we already bounced through the 9, we already bounced through the 3, so now we have to bounce through the 0. Okay, so now we are here at the 0, this 0 here and this 0 are the same thing, right? So the next thing is we bounce through the next one. This is 0 and this is 4. Okay, but we know 0 is smaller than 4. Okay, and since 0 is smaller than 4, this 9.3 here should be smaller than 9.3041. Okay, because as every time we loop through, we realize that, okay, here, this 0 that we're housing currently is smaller than this 4 that we're housing here currently. Okay, and since this one is smaller than this one, then automatically we can assume that 9.3 is less than 9.3041. Okay, so basically this is telling us the order of how it goes. Okay, so the least numbers comes from the least number to the greatest number. Okay, so it comes from the smallest to the biggest. Okay, so 9.3041 here is the biggest, 9.006 here is the smallest. Okay, so let's check that out. Check. Okay, so let's work on more practice. All right, so feel free to pause the video if you like, and yeah, if you just want to test yourself, feel free to pause the video. Okay, and remember, when we're working with all these, we have to skip through each digit of the numbers provided, right? So in this case, when we're looking at the first digits provided here, this is 4, this is 4, this is 4, and this is 2. Okay, and out of all these numbers, which one of them has the smallest number that comes first? 2, right? 2 is the smallest number out of all these ones. Okay, so automatically we can assume that, okay, yeah, 2.991 is the smallest number. Okay, so we'll put that behind. So 2.991 comes here. Okay, and so the next thing for us to do is to focus on these 3 numbers. Since we already know the place of 2.991, okay, we put 2.991 in its place. So now working with 4.78, 4.7082, and 4.8. Okay, so since we already dealt with the 4, we know the 4s are all equal. So next we move to the number after the decimal point. So this is 7. We're currently housing 7 here. We're currently housing 7 here also. We're currently housing 8. Okay, so since we know 4.8, okay, because 8 here is bigger than 7 here and 7 here. Okay, because we're currently housing these numbers. Okay, so 8 here is bigger than 7 and 7. So automatically 4.8 should be bigger than both of them. Okay, because 8 here in this point is bigger than these two positions here, because they have 7 and 7. And we know 8 is bigger than 7. Okay, so automatically you can put 4.8 as the biggest number. Okay, so this 4.8 here becomes the biggest number. So now we're left with these 2 numbers, 4.78 and 4.7082. Okay, since we already moved from this point, we already moved from here, and now we are currently here. Okay, we're currently in this 7 here. Okay, we can now move to the next number after. Okay, so the next number after here is an 8, right? And the next number after here is a 0 that we're currently housing. Okay, we're going to ask ourselves, 8 and 0, which one of them is bigger? Okay, we know 8 is bigger than 0, okay? And since 8 is bigger than 0, because we can safely say 4.78 is bigger than 4.7082, because the 8 that we're currently housing here is bigger than 0 that we're currently housing here, okay? And so because of that, we can put 4.7082 as the next smallest number, and on 4.78, yeah, 4.78 as the next biggest number. Okay, so let's check that out. Okay, yeah. All right, so let me do a quick recap on what I did. The first thing is I always want to look through each digit of all the numbers that I'm asked to compare. Okay, so the first time I looked through the digits in these numbers, I looked through the first digits. Okay, so this first digit was a 4, this one was a 4, this was also a 4, but this is a 2. Okay, and we know 2 is smaller than all the 4s here, so automatically we assume that, okay, yeah, 2.991 is the smallest number here, so that's why I put it here. And then since we know that these 4s are all equal, we have to work with all of them, right? And then because of that, we look through the next one. Okay, so when we look through the next number after decimal point, this was 7. Okay, this was 7 also, and this was 8. And we know, like, since this is 8, numbers we're currently housing was 8, and 8 was bigger than this 7 and this 7. We can safely say that 8 is bigger than both of them. 8 is bigger than this one also. So that means 8 will be the biggest number. Okay, and next we're working with 4.78 and 4.7082. Okay, and since we already stopped here, we stopped here at 7, so we can look through the next one, which is 8. We stop here at the 7 also, we will look through the next one, which was 0. Okay, and 8 is bigger than 0. Okay, and since 8 is bigger than 0, because we're currently housing 8 and we're currently housing 0 here, and since 8 was bigger than 0, we can safely say 4.78 was bigger than 4.7082, which we ordered here. Okay, so we put the number from the least to the greatest. Okay, this is the smallest, and then the next smallest, the next greatest, and the greatest. Okay, yeah. Okay, so thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope it helped you out. Have a beautiful day ahead. Bye.